At exactly 8:13 p.m., a man stepped into the night sky, with no parachute test, no backup plan, just a briefcase full of cash and absolute confidence. What happened next turned him into the most mysterious criminal in history. His name was D.B. Cooper, and more than 50 years later, no one knows who he really was, or if he even survived. It was November 24th, 1971, the night before Thanksgiving. A quiet man wearing a black suit, white shirt, and a thin black tie boarded Northwest Orient Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He didn't look dangerous. He didn't act nervous. He simply ordered a bourbon and soda and calmly lit a cigarette. Then, he handed the flight attendant a note. She glanced at it and, thinking it was just a phone number, ignored it. That was a big mistake. The man leaned closer and said quietly, "Miss, you might want to read that. I have a bomb." Inside his briefcase were wires, red cylinders, and a ticking threat. But there was no shouting, no panic, no violence, just pure, cold control. The note demanded $200,000 in cash, for parachutes, and a fuel truck ready when the plane landed. If the demands weren't met, the plane would explode. The pilots contacted the authorities, and the FBI panicked. This was the first time anything like this had ever happened. The plane landed in Seattle, and here's where the story gets even stranger. Once the money and parachutes were delivered, D.B. Cooper released every single passenger, children, families, strangers. No one was harmed. Only a small crew stayed behind. This wasn't the act of a madman. This was someone who had planned everything down to the last detail. The plane took off again, heading south into the darkness. Rain poured outside, the winds were violent, and the temperature was freezing. At 10,000 feet, Cooper stood up. He tied the bag of money to himself, put on a parachute, and calmly walked to the back of the plane. The crew begged him to stay, but he didn't respond. The rear stairs opened, and a blast of cold air rushed in, and then, D.B. Cooper jumped. No scream, no hesitation. He just vanished into the blackness. The plane landed safely. The FBI launched one of the largest manhunts in U.S. history. Helicopters scoured the forests. Agents questioned hundreds of suspects. Experts analyzed the jump conditions, but there was a problem. They found nothing. No body, no parachute, no footprints. It was as if he had evaporated into thin air. Years passed, and people began asking the real question. Did D.B. Cooper survive? Some experts say no human could have survived that jump. It was too cold, too dark, and far too dangerous. The landing zone was rugged, unforgiving wilderness, but others disagree. They believe Cooper was a trained paratrooper, possibly a Vietnam War veteran. He was calm under pressure and skilled in survival. He knew exactly what he was doing. And then, something shocking happened. In 1980, a young boy found thousands of dollars buried in the sand along a river. The serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money, so he was real. The money was real. But why was it there? Did he lose it during the landing? Or did he die nearby? And nature did the rest. The FBI investigated over 800 suspects. None of them could be proven to be the man. Decades went by. Finally, in 2016, the FBI officially closed the case. No arrest, no identity, no answers. Unofficially, they admitted the truth. They would probably never solve it. Think about that for a moment. A man hijacked a plane, outsmarted the government, and disappeared forever. In an age with no social media, no surveillance cameras, and no digital trail, he created a legend. A complete and total mystery. So here's the question that still haunts the world today. Did D.B. Cooper die in that desperate jump, or did he pull off the perfect crime and live the rest of his life free? And if he survived, why has no one ever come forward to confess? What do you believe happened to D.B. Cooper? Leave your best theory in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more unsolved mysteries.